The historic town of Harar is located in the eastern part of Ethiopia, 526 kilometers from the capital of Addis Ababa, on a plateau with deep gorges surrounded by deserts and savanna. The walls surrounding this sacred city, considered the fourth holy city of Islam, were built between the 13th and 16th centuries. There are 5 historic gates, which correspond to the main road to the town, and also served to divide the city into 5 neighborhoods. Harar Jugol numbers 82 mosques, 3 of which dates from the 10th century, and 102 shrines and a number of traditional Indian and combined townhouses with the unique interior designs, which constitute a spectacular part of Harari cultural heritage. The African and Islamic traditions influenced over a long period of time the development of the city and its typical urban planning, and contributed to its particular character and uniqueness. The present urban layout follows the 16th century design for an Islamic town, with its central core occupied with commercial and religious buildings and a maze of narrow alleyways with imposing facades. The traditional Harari house has a typical, specific and original architectural form, different from the domestic layouts usually known in Muslim countries, also reminiscent of the coastal Arab architecture and with exceptional interior design. At the end of the 19th century, Indian merchants built new houses with wooden verandas that defined a different urban landscape and influenced the construction of combined Indian Harari houses. Their architectural and ornamental qualities are now part of the Harari cultural heritage. Today, Harar is the administrative capital of the Harari people, national regional state. The historic town has a traditionally functioning community, forming a complex social environmental whole, where each element has its symbolic and practical significance. The Harari people are distinguished by the continued cultural traditions and quality of their handicrafts, including weaving, basket making and bookbinding. The organization of the community through traditional system has preserved its social and physical inheritance, and significantly the Harari language. Speaking of some of the historical and tourist attraction sites, Harar Jugol comes as first and foremost. The Harar Jugol is believed to have been built between the 13th and 16th centuries. The Harar Jugol wall originally had 5 historic gates, providing 5 entries into 5 different districts of the city. The wall was built in medieval times, an imposing 5-meter high and 3.5 kilometer long. The old town is surrounded by the fascinating wall with the famous gates. Moving to its authenticity, Harar Jugol is a rare example of a relatively well-preserved historic town that has retained its tradition, urban fabric and rich Harari Muslim cultural heritage to the present time. It is one of the holy town of Islam in Africa. The historic city is physically limited and well defined by its 16th century surrounding wall and the setting has been retained along the eastern and southeastern side of the property. In this Explore Ethiopia, the whole city of Harar Jugol is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with its own criteria. As first, the historic town of Harar Jugol exhibits an important interchange of values of original Islamic culture, expressed in the social and cultural development of the city, enclosed within the otherwise Christian region. Such influence have been merged with traditions that relate to the inland of Africa and particularly to southern Ethiopia, giving a particular characteristics form to its architecture and urban plan. Likewise, Harar Jugol bears exceptional testimony to cultural traditions related to Islamic and African roots. It is considered the fourth holy city of Islam, having been developed by a holy missionary from the Arabic Peninsula. Though a trading place and thus a melting point of various influence, Harar has been in relative isolation in its region, contributing to a cultural specificity expressed in its characteristics, community structure and tradition, which are still alive. Harar Jugol is an outstanding example of a type of architectural and urban ensemble which illustrates the impact of African and Islamic traditions on the development of specific building types. The building types and the entire urban layout reflects these traditions, which give a particular character and even uniqueness to Harar Jugol. And Harar Jugol, with its surrounding landscape, is an outstanding example of a traditional human settlement, representative of cultural interaction with the environment, the social and spatial structure, and the language of the people, all reflect a particular and even unique relationship that they are developed with the environment. The cultural and physical relationships with the territory have survived till today, but they are also vulnerable to irreversible change under the impact of the modern globalizing world. With its integrity, the inscribed property of Harar Jugol has a core zone of 48 hour, which encompasses the entire walled city and contains all the attributes that sustain the outstanding universal value of the property. The buffer zone extends 800 meters to the south and 1,700 meters to the east, while on the west side it is narrow and confined by the new town of Harar. Urban encouragement on the western edge of the walled town is the current concern. Also, there have been some urban development towards the west and north parts. The historic city remains intact on the eastern and southern eastern part of the walled city or town, where the essential relationship between the urban and rural areas is still maintained. Since Harar Jugol has been registered as one of the World Heritage Sites by UNESCO in 2006, the place has always been a preferable and touristy site for a number of reasons. And the 5 different gates in Harar Jugol do also have their own historical comings. And Harar markets also introduce you with the different Harari people's cultural clothes, seedlings, cereals, coffee, and many more. For anyone who have never been to this place, it will be a breathtaking experience to get oneself familiar with the different culture of Harar people. And the market is also a very exciting experience to know what Harar presents.